What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is Discord Friday. If you're new to the channel, I go over to Discord and all the pictures that you guys upload, I take pictures that I think have some type of learning tool within the palette that I want to help teach other people, as well as the person that posted the picture. So if you're not a member of Discord, that link is in the description below. If you want to subscribe to the channel, much appreciated. Guys, if you want to donate, much appreciated. And if you want to give thumbs up, much appreciated. So let's get on to the first picture. Now, this is a great looking picture. Guys, we got all of our bras, everything upright, whatever these are. They look like bras to me, but it looks like it says Apple. I don't know what they are, but perfectly nice base on this. We got the Gatorades, everything just perfectly tied in. Guys, when you have a palette like this with this type of product, I mean, literally, this is how you want your stuff to look like. We're actually going to look at the other side of this palette as well. And as you can see, all the way around this palette, it's just solid. Got a nice little tie-in right here. Even though cases are facing the right direction, we are slightly tying in. Now, I'm going to show you on a later picture today that I do not like tying in from a high to a low unless it is very minute. This is basically it for me. Any more of a low area, and I would not have tied this case in because you're going to get too much of a rock going. But that is the perfect tie-in if you're going to tie in from a high to a low. Guys, just simplistic tie-ins, all right? Just to distribute the weight from one to the other. Even this case, just touching that cap, that is tying in, guys. People get too carried away with what tying in is. So we're just going to zoom through these right here. This person said that they posted this a while ago. But I just put this on here because, yeah, you can get away with column stacking with certain products. These are not the products that you want to column stack. So right in here, look at this. We got 1, 2, 3. We got all these cases nice and tied in. And then we kept column stacking right on top of them. This is the opportunity to start switching up some of your block to start tying this base in, because this is a solid base. But then we just column stack the whole entire palette. So you're going to have this rocking out, you're going to have this lean going. But I would have took the opportunity to try to tie something in right here. Even though you have a lot of smaller cases, you could have lined cases up right across the back of this to tie it in. It could have definitely been done. But once again, I just want to show this. I know you said that this was an older picture of yours. Let's get on to the next picture. A little blurry, but just, guys, simplistic. You get these big cases. We got waters, it looks like, and then we got our tees. See how we spaced out our tees? We didn't force anything in. So maybe they had this case facing in and it just wasn't working out. So they just kept it nice and spaced, and then they used the opportunity to bring that, bring it back, guys. 1 case in, 1 case in, 2 cases back, 1 case in. It's the same concept no matter where I throw in the warehouse. This isn't my palette, but I'm just saying, I mean, this is exactly how I would do it. Nice looking palette. All right, guys, the next few palettes I want to look at is all the same person because you can notice how they X wrap their stuff at the end. So one thing I want to say that I do want to point out on your palettes, you're on plastic. I guess you have to throw on plastic because it seems like all your stuff's on plastic. If you have to double up your palettes, double them up. If you ever notice that your plastic palettes are bowing, one thing I noticed that you do build nice and square. You are building decent pallets, but man, do I notice that you're constantly putting cans on their sides with pressure. The only time I turn cans on their sides is if I'm just filling in a gap and I don't want this side to rock to this side, but I have it bridged on top. So I can go in and pull those cans in and out. It's just there to keep one column from rocking into the next column and moving. So that's the only time I will put cans on their sides. But literally there's no pressure on top. Every single one, pressure on top, pressure on top. We're going to look at the other side, pressure on top. The middle here, I wouldn't have forced stuff in here like this. Leave your apple juices and just keep centering. With this charcoal right here, I would have just centered right there. You do not have to force cases, or you could have put the charcoal on its side right here, not the can. You could have put this Campbell's on top of your juices and put the charcoal on its side. You can get away with doing that. That's what I would have done. I would have just swapped the cans and the charcoal and put the charcoal on its side to fill in that gap. But I would definitely refrain from using cans. But other than that, not a bad looking palette. Like I said, we got quite at least 3 or 4 of your pictures. Look at this one right here. It looks like chunky soup or something. It is just screaming for dear life. Way too much. There should be zero weight on cans on their sides. So this is one of the biggest downfalls in your pallet is the cans on their sides with weight on them. So I would definitely try to refrain from doing that. If you put a case down and it's not level, I don't leave it there. I like zero cases dipping in like this. You have a little gap right here, and you put a case of salad dressing down, it looks like, and it fell in. Me personally, it's not going there. I would put it somewhere different, and it's all, you got that case in that part of the pallet. If you would have pointed this spaghetti sauce facing in, this salad dressing would have fit right here. The more cases you point towards the middle, the more room you have. This spaghetti sauce facing in would allow this to fit flat down there. Guys, I preach the same thing all the time. Here's that high and low. Too much. Keep it level or minute. Now, you had a good result from this, but such a bad habit to get into. Once again, all you had to do was just turn it and face it in. You got a perfect opportunity right here to tie that in. So what I would have done is face it in. Just too much. All right, we don't want to tie. Other than that, you're perfect. Just great learning tool for new selectors and yourself. That's too much of a tie-in from a high to a low. But other than that, your pallets are looking great. You're doing a really nice job. Let's go on to the next one. The charcoal, once again, I would face it in. If you wanted it in the middle of your pallet, I would face it in. I use these on a front corner. I do use these on a front corner. I would rather have these 3 charcoal facing in on the front corner than these little cases here bowing out. This front corner is asking for trouble right here. I like your high to low. You know, we're leaning inwards. We're not leaning outwards, so that's a good thing. I don't know what this case is on its side right here, but see, you're just, the more cases you face in, the better. Now, picture all these cases facing in. You would have been able to fit another case in right here, and you wouldn't have this lean because you had a gap there. I promise you, you face cases inwards, you're going to give yourself a lot more room, and you're going to give yourself a lot better pallet. All right, and this is the last one of your pictures that you posted. Now we got a slip sheet here, so the gap's not that big of a deal. Once again, cans on their sides with weight on them. They're already starting to buckle. It's a very bad habit that you're getting into with these cans on their sides with weight. I would stop that immediately. Remember, you do not have to fill in every single hole, because if these cases bend, no one's buying them. So if they're going to get damaged along the way to the store, then what's the point of selecting the case? But once again, other than that, I mean, there's very little things you're doing wrong. Other than that, you're doing some really positive things on your pallet. You tied in the whole top perfectly with your bags. Don't force cases and gaps. It doesn't need to be done. You don't have to fill in every single hole. So just remember that. All right, guys, this next pallet is very nicely done. The only thing I would have done differently was see how solid we are right here on this corner, and then this corner's like bowing out a little bit. I like this. I like the charcoal right here too. All what I would have done is I would have took this big charcoal. Even if I had these 3 bags here, I would have just faced them in, tied them in this way, just to get more weight distribution coming to the middle of this pallet, because we do have a slight rock out because of these heavy wines and stuff being on their just column stacked. Or I would have took this big charcoal and I would have put it over here to tie it in. I would have just kept going this direction to tie this corner in more. See how we're like, our only tie-ins right here. All right, and then we go straight back to column stacking again. So this whole entire thing is all being just because of this one bag being tied in. It's the only thing that's holding that whole column from rocking out. So when I would have got right here, I would have just kept everything pointing in the whole way up the pallet to offset the corner of being column stacked with weight. Other than that, this is a great looking pallet. Let's look at the next one. We got a bare pallet, and not too often. I think we've had one bare pallet in the past. Now these cans on their sides, once again, me personally, if I was working at a bare warehouse, I would not put them on their sides. I would make room for that to sit upright. It's at the top of the pallet. There's no pressure on it. Probably zero going to happen to it. But once again, it's just me, guys. I like to keep all my liquids upright. But other than that, great looking bare pallet. Yeah, I like it, man. I mean, the whole way up, you're doing a great job. I don't know exactly how much time you get to throw something like that, but that's the only thing about working in a bear warehouse. The bonus is you get a lot of square cases, so you're going to have a lot of cases that line up. But the downfall is it's all weight. You're not getting any light cases. Everything is weight, so you're throwing a lot of weight. All right, guys, and the last picture I wanted to look at is this one right here. Now, I love putting lines on these pictures just to show you how much cube you lost. So when you column stack like this and you're wrapping along the way, it looked like you wrapped along the way because this, you could barely even see the product like in certain places because there's so much wrap on it. And I know we got the glare from the lights on it too, but yeah, at some point you want to be able, like we started losing it right here. And so my theory is that you wrapped it, stacked, wrapped it, stacked, wrapped it, stacked. To me, you just kept wrapping this as you stacked it, and that's what happens. You lose cube. So if I would have wrapped it right here, I told you in other videos, I would go real light. And all what I'm doing is putting wrap on there enough for it not to teeter out. Because I want to still try to fill in my holes if I can, if I get smaller cases at the end. I don't know what these cases are up here, if they could be turned on their sides. I can't tell what they are, but if it's a case that could be turned on its side, maybe that could be filling in some of the gaps that you're going to have in the middle of your pallet. You started off nice. I would have just, not wrapped as I selected, and I'm guessing that's what you did. You would be able to fill in gaps a lot easier that way in turn cases. So yeah, column stack and wait the whole way up is definitely not the way to go. All right, guys, quick video today. That's Discord Friday. I do have another video coming out this weekend. Somebody asked me some questions, and I said it'd be better explained on a video. So there probably will be a video out probably Saturday or Sunday. I appreciate you guys for joining the channel. Guys, I go over these Discord Fridays. I try to be quick about it. I don't like keeping you any longer than I have to. So that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.